I'm Caton Alexander, and this is IBN News, the world's only true news source. Welcome back. So how do you and your family spend your free time? Camping? Studying? Reading? Well, surprisingly, a great number of people spend it in front of a television, playing video games. Sexually explicit, violent, immoral games that's changing our society. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday, June 27th, that a California law banning the rental or sale of violent video games to minors was unconstitutional. The ruling was a rare 7-2 vote. Some say the ruling should be welcome because it deals a significant blow to an unfortunate trend in the United States, the nanny state trend. It seems that with each passing day we read of state or local government trying to regulate or ban certain foods, aluminum baseball bats, pet stores, and even circumcision. California politicians in particular seem to be obsessed with making people do what the politicians think is great for them. In recent weeks, San Francisco has weighed bans on circumcision and pet stores. In 2005, California as a state banned the sale or rental of violent video games to minors. Video games have taken a more violent turn since the 1990s. They show more graphic depictions of bad deeds, from car theft to war to alien invasions. In the Grand Theft Auto series, the protagonist is usually a car thief who runs around the city, beating people up, dealing with mobsters, and talking to prostitutes. Now keep in mind that more than 46 million U.S. households have at least one gaming system. This is just another message to parents that they must fend for their own families in an increasingly rudderless culture. California admitted that it could not show a direct causal link between violent video games and harm to minors. And Justice Scalia said scientific research did not prove that violent video games cause minors to act aggressively. Even if the gory games had some effects, he added, they were not really different from those that Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner cartoons produced, which, by the way, taught violence in a subtle way to the very young. The Supreme Court said, we're going to decide what counts as speech and then leave it up to private individuals, not the government, to decide what speech they want to see and want to view. Now, this issue doesn't stop with just our youth. New research reveals the average gamer's age is in fact 37, and the average buyer is 41. The ESA, or the Entertainment Software Association, said that 45% of parents play games with their children at least weekly. In 1990, the entertainment software industry accounted for a modest 74.1 million units sold and $2.6 billion in sales revenue. 13 years later, the computer and video game company sold 273.5 million units, leading to an astounding $10.5 billion in software revenue and $20 billion overall. Worldwide, the gaming industry in 2007 was about $41.9 billion. Now, this number is expected to grow 9.1% annually to $48.9 billion in 2011 and $68 billion in 2012, making it the fastest growing component of the international media sector. 500 million video games were sold in 2010 worldwide. It's amazing the amount of time that people spend in an imaginary world allowing themselves to be influenced by violence, illicit sex, drug use, theft, and much, much more. Let's take a closer look at just how much time is wasted. We'll turn it over to our correspondent, Chris Hyler. Chris, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Caton. And that's right, the facts are truly amazing. With technology allowing nearly 24-hour media access as children and teens go about their daily lives, The amount of time young people spend with entertainment media has risen dramatically. Now, that's according to a study released by the Kaiser Family Foundation. Today, 8 to 18-year-olds devote an average of 7 hours and 38 minutes to using entertainment media across a typical day. Now, that's more than 53 hours a week. And because they spend so much of that time media multitasking, now that means using more than one medium at a time, they actually manage to pack a total of 10 hours and 45 minutes worth of media content into those 7.5 hours. The amount of time spent with media increased by 1 hour and 17 minutes a day over the past 5 years, from 6 hours and 21 minutes in 2004 to 7 hours and 38 minutes today. And because of media multitasking, the total amount of media content consumed during that time period has increased from 8 hours 33 minutes in 2004 to 10 hours and 45 minutes today. The increase in media use is driven in large part by ready access to mobile devices like cell phones and iPods. Now, cell phones and iPods have become true multimedia devices. In fact, young people now spend more time listening to music, playing video games, and actually watching TV on their cell phones more than they spend talking on them. About 2/3 of young people say that the television is usually on during meals, and just under half say that the television is left on most of the time in their home, even if no one is watching. 7 in 10 have a television in their bedroom, and half have a video gaming system in their room. And how about those parents who are supposed to be watching out for their children? Well, only about 3 in 10 young people say that they have rules about how much time they can spend watching television or playing video games, and 36% say the same about the computer. Drew Altman, who is a PhD, president and CEO of the Kaiser Family Foundation, said the amount of time young people spend with media has grown to where it's even more than a full-time work week. When children are spending this much time doing anything, we need to understand how it's affecting them, for good and bad, he says. Let's take a look at some of the facts. Now, by the age of 18, on average, a child would have seen over 350,000 commercials, over 200,000 acts of violence, and over 14,000 sexual references. The average teenager spends 15,000 hours watching television, compared to 12,000 hours in the classroom. And if that's not scary enough for you, according to the Parent Music Resource Center, American teenagers listen to an estimated 10,500 hours of music between the 7th and 12th grade alone. Now that's just 500 hours less than they spend in school over 12 years. And consider this, Caton. A high percentage of these songs would actually send their listeners to prison if they were to actually do what the lyrics suggest to them. Back to you, Caton.
That's amazing, Chris. It's no wonder that our children, young adults, and older men are allowing their minds to be influenced in ways that would eventually lead them to actions that would bring harm to themselves and others. Increased aggression due to hours of gaming, shorter attention spans, poor academic performance, and just a lack of motivation for improving themselves mentally. Since the government has washed their hands of this, and it's up to the parents who, as we reported earlier, spend time playing these games with their children to make moral decisions, who's going to take the helm to redirect the minds of our society in a positive direction? The answer is you. It's up to each and every one of us to take responsibility for our actions, and parents, to take responsibility for your children. In order to change our actions, we must change the way we think. The Peaceful Solution Character Education Program does just that. Now, as we reported in the past on our many trips with the Peaceful Solution Character Education Program, this program works by teaching an individual the difference between right and wrong, as well as showing them how to make right choices that will build positive character that will last a lifetime. Authored by Israel Hawkins, The Peaceful Solution is a series of curricula that is easy to use and is perfect for people of all ages and in any stage of life. For more information, contact The Peaceful Solution at P.O. Box 2442, Abilene, Texas 79604, or call them at 1-888-613-1234. 9494 or send them an email at info@peacefulsolution.org. For all of us here at IBN News, thanks for joining us.